Have you ever wondered what it might be like to work with an FDN, and if it could be a game changer in your health journey? Well, in today's episode, I want to peel back the curtain on what it's really like to work with me as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and how to know if it's the right fit for you. We'll talk about what an actual FDN does and how it's different from other approaches, who can benefit most from this process, and why commitment and consistency are key to seeing results. So stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Gut Fix. So first of all, I want to explain the role of an FDN. We look for root cause focused approach using functional lab testing to clinically correlate with combining that science with the lifestyle and the medical history and coming up with a personalized protocol to optimize your health. And how is it different of working with an FDN than conventional healthcare? Well, we like to take that proactive approach to health rather than the reactive. So we're looking for what's causing what's happening. Could be many things upstream that are causing some of the things that you might be feeling, and rather than reacting to a symptom. And let me stress that we do not diagnose, we do not treat. We simply look for those upstream imbalances and work synergistically with your diet, your rest, your exercise, your managing your stress, and supplementation when appropriate to bring you back into balance. And so some of the things that some of the reasons that people will come to an FDN are chronic digestive issues like IBD, bloating, IBS, things like that. Also brain fog, fatigue, any hormonal imbalances, or anything that that someone might have that's a long-standing health concern that they don't have clear answers to, and maybe have been searching and can't find those answers or can't get someone to answer them for them. And so what does it look like to work with an FDN like myself? Well, first of all, there's the onboarding process. And once we've determined that we are a good fit to work together, and that will take, that's usually a 30 to 45 minute conversation just to see what are the main concerns, what does your diet and lifestyle and medical history look like, and then how committed are you to making changes. And so, once we've determined that we are a good fit to work together, then we will go over all the health history, the goals, the challenges, those main concerns, and kind of come up with a mini protocol to start with as we order functional labs that will uncover some of those hidden stressors. And hidden stressors is a term that was coined by FDN, and it stands for hormone, immune system, digestion, detoxification, energy, and nervous system. And any of these stressors that can be be causing what you're feeling. And so while we're waiting for those labs to come back and the results to come back from the labs, because it can take up to, upwards of 30 days by the time that you actually take the test, send it in, they get the results, comes back to me, we set up a time. But in that time, we're going to come up with a mini protocol of maybe changing some things in the diet, maybe working on the sleep or exercise or that reducing stress. Probably not using any supplements at this point because we really don't know where the imbalances are. And along with that personalized protocol is a focus on long-term solutions, not quick fixes, because, your health is not a quick fix. We will have regular check-ins and ongoing support. And the regular check-ins, it varies from person to person. So some people really like to check in a lot and like to run everything by. And some people like to be left alone until the next time that we check in, that we've agreed to check in. Everybody's totally different, and I welcome all approaches. And then we're going to monitor the progress. We're going to adjust any protocols, make any adjustments to the protocols, and address any of the roadblocks, setbacks, anything like that. And, just kind of a bit of a glimpse into my personal coaching style is because I've gone through my own health challenges, because I'm working with family members that are dealing with health challenges, I'm very supportive. I also have a lot of empathy for maybe what you're going through. And yet it's going to be an honest and a very direct approach. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's going to be a direct approach into what it's going to take for you to see results. And so when I think about who should be working with an FDN, or what are the characteristics of an ideal client, it's somebody, primarily it's women, but it's not always, who are truly committed to making the changes that are necessary to feel better. And those that are ready to invest a minimum of 4 to 6 months for those meaningful results. And I say a minimum of 4 to 6 months because when you think about it, I think about when I went through my own personal health challenge. I was 42, 43 years old, right around there. And, I became very, very sick. And what I realized is that it didn't happen overnight. It came from decades of some habits that maybe they weren't necessarily bad habits, but they weren't the right habits for me. Whether it was the way I was eating, or the way I was sleeping or not sleeping. The way I was exercising was a big thing for me. And so you don't get to the point of not feeling well and being chronically ill it doesn't just happen overnight. And so you've got to really be willing to put the time in. And you also have to be willing to explore and be open to different diets, different lifestyle changes. And you're going to have to make some mindset shifts, if you will. And people that are definitely not a good fit are people that are looking for a quick fix, or those that are willing to make the necessary changes to their current habits in order to feel better. Or those that are like maybe looking for, hey, just give me the right supplements and tell me what to take and so that I can feel better. This is not that approach. That's the more reactive approach. That's not the proactive approach. And the people that are also not a good fit are those that want results without any consistent effort. Because then it's truly, honestly, the results are not going to come. And so, going back to the commitment, and why does commitment matter so much? Well, the reality of a health transformation is, again, you didn't get here to where you are in this health challenge just overnight. It happened over a long period of time of doing things or eating things or living a certain way that were not conducive for you personally. They might be for somebody else and they might work fine for somebody else, but everybody is totally different. And that's something that this approach also takes as an FDN, is we take everybody individually and look very deeply into Like I said, the medical history, the lifestyle, and what the labs are showing. And they could be showing very different things. People that are having same symptoms are showing very different things on a lab. And so that's really, when it comes to the reality of the health transformation, they don't happen overnight. They're not going to, and there's no quick fix. It's going to take, healing takes addressing very multiple layers. And those layers are your diet, your stress, your sleep, all those things combined. Those are the layers that are going to help you get healthy. And so some of the things that I would say is the work, to somebody who comes to me, is the work is not always going to be easy. It's in some cases, you think about, you've maybe done things the same way for a very long period of time. And change is hard, right? Especially the older that we get. And I would say the results are so well worth it. The results of having better energy, for example, clearer thinking, improved health, they're all so very well worth it. And so, how do you know if you're ready and to take the leap? Well, a few questions that I would ask you to ask yourself are, am I ready to take responsibility for my health? And another question is, am I willing to invest the time, effort, and resources into this process? And the third question is, am I open to change and trying new approaches? The importance of having a very growth mindset and being willing, a very open mindset, growth mindset, but an open mindset as well, and having realistic expectations are key to having those lasting results that you're looking for. And so, I've also heard that people say, gosh, the money, it's so expensive. And yes, it is. It's not, I'm not going to lie, it's not cheap, but it's not, when you think of the cost of your health and the cost of being sick is so much higher than the small investment. And it really, truly is small when you look at the big picture, but it really is worth it to not have to suffer for years with a chronic, feeling awful. And so, if you are ready to finally uncover some of the root causes and get to the health challenges that you've been dealing with and commit to a path of true wellness, then I invite you to visit my website, wendyhandy.com, and click on that very first page, the Book Now, to schedule your 30-minute consultation and start your personal protocol today. I would welcome the opportunity to help you create a very healthier, happier you, one step at a time. So thanks for tuning in today. And remember, stay happy, stay healthy. Until next week. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.